Brighton have had 2 bids rejected for Micah Mbick, the latest worth £3.5 million. But yet, they're still pushing. This tells me this isn't just another depth signing. So who is Mbick? Why do Brighton and Charlton value him at around £5 million? And what do they see that others might be missing? Welcome back to the Louis Selling YouTube channel. It has been a while since the last upload. Had a little break over Christmas and a busy few weeks, and since being back to uni this year I've had a few exams and assessments, which has meant videos have had to go on hold for a little while. But I am back, and as you can tell from this video, the intro and the title, this is all about Micah Mbick, who Brighton have had 2 bids rejected for and are considering a third, according to David Ornstein and The Athletic. And after watching a few clips of him and looking at the stats, he looks a real talent, and a player that Brighton haven't really got the profile of in their squad. So without further ado, let's break down who he is, have a look at some video clips and talk about how he would fit into this Brighton setup. So Mbick is a 19-year-old 6'4" striker, which immediately excites me before even looking at the stats or some clips and watching him play, because he's something that Brighton just don't have and they've been crying out for the last few seasons. He is a big striker up front who can hold that ball up, make those runs in behind, and likes to get in the box to put the ball in the back of the net. The Seagulls' current striking options are Danny Welbeck, who, the older he's got, he's started to drop a bit deeper and not make as many runs in behind, but he's still a very good finisher. You've got Babis Costellas, a raw 18-year-old with so much promise and potential. He's very good with the ball, very technical, very good finish on him as well, and a very good header. And you can see his quality from that bicycle kick he scored against Bournemouth. But he's one that Brighton are going to want to develop the next few seasons, and he's probably seen as more of a number 10 with his profile. They've also got Stefanos Tsitsipas, who is unfortunately out for the rest of the season with an ACL rupture. He's similar to Danny Welbeck a few years ago in terms of making those runs in behind, exploiting the opposition back line, likes to be on the ball, running with it, making things happen and driving towards that box. And then you've got Jorginho Rutter at a push, can play in that number 9 position, but he's much better in that number 10 with his carrying abilities, his strength, his work rate, and that ability to make something out of nothing. But having a big striker, a big man up front for Brighton is something that will go very far in Fabian Hürzeler's philosophy. He needs that intensity up front. But Mbick joined the Charlton Academy at under-10s, progressing through their ranks, and in November 2023 he made his senior debut, scoring just 3 minutes after coming on as a late substitute in an FA Cup first round replay against Cray Valley Paper Mills, a non-league team. That it was a 6-1 win, and a goal is a goal. He made a couple more appearances in all competitions, and then he signed his first professional contract in December 2023 for Charlton before making his league debut 5 days later. In July last year, he was given a new 3-year contract with an option to a year extension, and then a few months later he went out on loan to Colchester, where he has played 22 games, scored 8 goals and provided 3 assists, which for someone who has just turned 19 years old a few months ago is a very good return, especially someone in their first proper season of professional men's football. But if we look at his player profile, we'll look at his heat map first, which tells you a lot. He's someone who likes to get in that box, as you can see from the red inside the penalty area. He will be in there, he'll make darts into the box, and he will put the ball in the back of the net. Of course, he's still very raw, still a lot to learn with his finishing, but the way football is going, the revival of the big man up front, that target man, as seen with Igor, Thiago and Erling Haaland in the last few months, year or so with Manchester City, playing that more counter-attacking style and feeding the ball into Erling Haaland. But Mbick isn't just that hold-up striker. He's also quite technical and good on the ball as well, as you can see from the red on the left-hand side of this heat map. He can drop deeper and he can pick up the ball and play those passes and make things happen, which is really important for a Premier League player, and especially one for Brighton. They like someone who is versatile. He can play in that number 10 position and can make things happen as well. But mostly he is a goal scorer and an out-and-out striker. Really, he's started 15 games and he's been very, very good. If we have a look at his shot map, 40% of his shots on target, and most, if not all of his shots coming inside the penalty area. 5 goals have come inside the penalty area in League 2, 1 outside the box, which we will have a look at in a minute. It was an absolutely beautiful goal, one that won goal of the month in League 2. If we look at his per 90 stats, 0.4 goals per 90 in League 2. Not bad at all. Expected goals, 0.45. Not bad at all. His XG in the league is 6.9. 6 goals from that. He is on track, exactly where he should be. From 40 shots, 6 goals isn't too bad as well. Non-penalty XG is also 0.45. Shots, 2.68 per 90, which is something that I really, really like. Not many players nowadays, especially in the Premier League, take those shots on and be ambitious to put the ball in the back of the net. If you don't shoot, you're not going to score. Shots on target, 1.07. Not bad. One that will be improved the more he develops. If we look at his total, 16 shots on target, 6 goals from that is not bad whatsoever. If we look at his passing, it's okay. It's not the best. 60% successful passes. For a number 9, not too much of an issue. Maybe if he did drop into that number 10, it's something that needs to be improved. 9.84 successful passes per game. Not something that's too worrying, but something that would need to be slightly developed. Crossing is really interesting. 50% successful crosses. For a striker, that's not bad at all, but it's not really a stat that's going to be too relevant. Dribbling is also another key important stat. 2.21 successful dribbles per game. Shows he can get on the ball deeper and drive with it towards that box. Get his shots off as well. And 60% of those successful dribbles as well, which is really, really nice. 39 touches. Again, really, really good per 90. Get in the ball, get him in the box, let him get those shots away, and he will score. But statistically, you can see from those shooting stats, he's a fox in the box, a big man up front. He's going to score goals from some scrappy opportunities and making those darts in the box. But now we'll go and look at some clips and you can see some examples of how he plays and some of the goals that he has scored. Let's first take a look at this example against Bristol Rovers. It is not a goal, but it is a sequence of play that highlights everything I've just said about his profile and his stats, how he likes to make those runs in behind, get in the box, and how he is a handful for opposition defenders. He is this player in here, in the centre of the pitch, in the middle, just outside that D. He is hanging off the right centre-back, has his body open, looking at that left centre-back, which is a really, really important position to have, as it allows him to do a couple of things. It allows this defender to slot the ball here and him to make a run in behind, or he can come deep and receive the ball in here. He could even spin here. It would have to be a very, very good ball for the defender to dump it over here. But what he decides to do is make a move towards this left centre-back in here to make this run in behind with all of this space in here. This is the absolutely perfect ball that could be played, as it gets him one-on-one with the goalkeeper. Defenders have a quite negative body position, especially the right centre-back. He's very, very closed off. This defender in here might have a chance to intercept it, but if it's a good ball and Mbick is in behind, he makes that dart here. The ball should come into here. It doesn't. The defender decides to go, or the midfielder decides to go backwards, which is a frustrating thing for a striker. But just making these runs and things not coming still keeps the defenders on their toes. The ball doesn't come, as I say, it ends up back with this defender in here. He's now this man in here. It is a good reaction to the ball not coming. He repositions himself, gets ready to again do a few things. The ball can come into this position in here to his feet, or he can make a spin and a run either side of this right centre-back, in between the right centre-back and the right back. Keep an eye on this winger out here, as this influences his play as well. He spots that gap between the right centre-back and the right back. The ball is played long forward. It does end up with this left winger in here. But if the defender did decide to go forwards, he's got that ability, that pace, that reaction to get in behind here. The centre-back's body position is all over the place. He's not got too much balance. So if it does come, he needs a good first touch, but it will lead to a very, very good chance being created. But just having that reposition, that understanding to just come back and then make that run. Don't throw your arms up because the ball didn't come the first time, because it will come the next time or the time after that. You see him now, he's come inside, again splitting these two centre-backs in here. The ball is with the left winger here. And again, his position here allows him to do a couple of things. He can turn quickly with the defender's body position to come and pick up the ball in this gap in here. Also, him not standing in this position and getting towards the box creates space for the winger to come in here, or a number 10 midfielder to pick up this pocket in here. Or if the winger has a good touch this way or this way, he is in a great position. The left centre-back can't see him. He can make this run in here. And the right centre-back is quite far away, and it'll have to be a very, very good last attempt to clear the ball away from him and stop a shot coming in. That doesn't happen. As you can see here now, he has a very, very strong arm to push away that defender to create some space for himself. That does happen. Look at the space he is in now here. He's moved away from that right centre-back. The left centre-back is quite far away from him as well. The number 22 in here has two players to watch, the number 10 and Mbick. He's not going to be able to mark both. He is now making this move inside here because the ball, as you can see now, has been played through to the number 2, the fullback, with all this space in here. Mbick makes that run in here inside for a ball to be played into this zone in here. And as you can see, not just getting in there, just holding back a little bit, making that space, has presented all of this gap in here, along with a lot of space in here. The fullback receives the ball on the touchline, and Mbick decides to make a run towards that front post. Very, very unlikely he will score from here. He has hit the post from this position before, a really, really cute little flick that hit the post, but he makes that dart forward. The ball could come, he could get a sweep, but what it actually does is opens up all of this space in here for his two teammates here and here to get a shot away, which does happen, but it does go just wide. But that movement from him creates so much space, creates an opportunity, if not for him, for his teammates. A really, really intelligent bit of play for a young striker, and something that Brighton have been missing. Someone who wants to get in the box, someone who's happy to create that space or get in it themselves, make those runs, be selfless, and make, if not the first run, continue to make the second run. But we'll look at a couple of his goals this season, which again highlight those profile and those attributes. He is again this player in the middle here. The winger has got the ball out here. He is again looking to make that dart between the right centre back and the left back. That intelligence to get between the two players. They're not entirely sure which one's marking who should go, and it gets a bit confusing for the defenders. You move it on, he's pointing where he wants the ball, something that is really, really important to highlight, because the winger here could cut back and play a ball here, but instead he knows that he wants it in behind. It still has to be a good run, but that speed is really, really important as well. He's just starting to get ahead of that defender, which creates a really, really good shooting opportunity. The winger plays a very, very good pass. He's now in a good position. He controls himself. He slows himself down. The ball is played across. He's in front of the defender. It has to be an absolutely unbelievable interception or tackle to get the ball off him here. Composes himself, continue his run into the box, and it's a beautiful slotted finish into this bottom right hand corner. The defender has no chance. He's either going to give away a penalty or he's left Mbick to score a goal. Something again that Brighton are missing, just that athleticism, that intensity, that physicality to bully the defender, get in the box, make that run and put the ball into the back of the net, and have that composure to slow himself down. Another example, which isn't pretty at all, but something that I really, really like. It's scrappy, but it is a goal. The ball comes in from a corner to this man at the back post, and Mbick is on his toes in here. He's ready for that knockdown, that ball to come in, anything to happen. He's got his left foot, which he can just sweep the ball into the goal. It comes into him here. He's ready. He's on his toes. He takes a really good touch. He's moved away from the defender, as you can see in this example as well. All that space on his own. The defender is having to react late. He gets a shot away in here. It's a bit scrappy. It does end up being saved by the keeper, but that positioning from him to get in that space and have his body open means that if the ball does come, he's getting a shot away. As the play goes on, the ball falls back to him in here. The ball is here. He stayed on his toes and he smashes it into the top corner to score an absolutely disgustingly scrappy goal. But it's something that Brighton really, really need. Someone that's just going to put the ball in the back of the net. And I've said it so many times and I'm going to keep saying it. To win games, you need this. Another example which highlights his movement and his positioning. The winger has played a lovely, lovely ball in here. His movement prior to the goal in here. He's made that run again between the right centre-back and the left centre-back. The left back. The left back here is miles away from the ball. He's not going to get anything on it. He's used his pace to get beyond that centre-back. Made that dart. The ball comes in. He's come into this position here. Again, really, really important. He slows himself down. He doesn't just charge at it like a headless chicken. He composes himself. He slows himself down. And he puts another beautiful finish into this right corner here. With his side foot, really, really, really good finish. That composure, not just to blast it after making a dart into the box, but just to place it. And then another example, this is his goal I was talking about, a really, really special goal. The ball comes over the top. Magnify it here so you can see. It is an absolutely exceptional touch to beat the defender to it. He flicks it over his head. The defender slips over, nowhere to be seen. He's already on the turn. That quick agility to turn away, past the defender, make that spin. He notices, as you can see here, he sees the goalkeeper is coming out. He also sees this defender here. He's had a quick look, is coming in here, which means as he gets to this position, he knows he can chip the goalkeeper. He knows he can't go this way round the goalkeeper because the defender is in here. He could try and go this way, but it is a very, very narrow angle. Has to be quite a big touch to get round. He has that ability, that composure to chip the goalkeeper. And what a lovely, lovely finish it is. The ball is up here, straight in to the back of the net. Finishing is exceptional and something that will only improve as he develops if he does come to Brighton, playing under a Premier League manager, Premier League coaches, and playing alongside experienced Premier League players like a Danny Welbeck. But something else I want to highlight in an earlier clip as well, an earlier screenshot, is this space in here. As I said, they do miss it But when you've got players for Brighton like a Diego Gomez, who likes to make those late runs into the box, a Yassin, a Yari, having something like this, a striker that's going to make that movement away to open up the space, could lead to so many goals and could lead to Diego Gomez and a Yari, if they improve their finishing just a little bit, scoring 10 goals a season between them, or maybe even 15. But that is a few examples of his profile, of his goals, how he likes to make those runs. And it, as I said, it's a deal that I think Brighton really, really need to get done. He can't play this season for the Seagulls because he has already played for Charlton and Colchester. So if they did bring him in, he would stay on loan at Colchester or Charlton for the rest of the season. But next season, he could be a huge, huge part of Fabian Hürzeler's team. I have loaded up the entire Brighton squad this season, plus Mbick, just to show you how he could fit into Fabian Hürzeler's setup and how he would fit into Fabian Hürzeler's setup if he was to be playing in the first team next season, if he does head to the South Coast. As you can see, Brighton have quite a few options up front. Mbick, Zimas, Welbeck, Rutter and Costellas. As I said at the start of the video, Mbick wouldn't be the first option as soon as he come into the squad, that is for sure. It will probably still be Danny Welbeck if he is at the club next season. If not, Babis Costellas, Stefanos Zimas as the backup, and then Jorginho Rutter in that number 10 position. But Mbick is completely different, as I said, provides that different option, would hopefully allow Matoma to start getting back out wide and being able to deliver those crosses in the box. Minte's assist should hopefully be improved because he has a target man in the box he can start crossing to as well, because a lot recently having Welbeck up front, he's been dropping deep, Matoma's been coming narrow, Minte's been getting the ball, Gruder's been getting the ball, and they've not really had anyone in the box to aim for. Or if they had, it's players like Gomez or Yari who are not the best with the ball in the air. But having Mbick in here as well, as I mentioned with Gomez and Yari, if he makes these runs in here, it allows that Gomez in this space in here. It allows Yassin Yari in this space in here, which would be really, really interesting to see, as it's something that Fabian Hürzeler has been trying to work on and has said a few times with these midfielders. And having that striker that's going to be selfless and make those runs will help that massively as well. Also, another thing with Fabian Hürzeler's team is he wants to play with intensity, but having older players as good as they are, that physicality and that intensity and athleticism sometimes trails off for the whole game towards the end of the game. Having a young athletic striker will be so important, and it could be a move that drastically pulls Brighton up the table next season and gives them those extra goals that can turn those draws into wins and those losses into draws as well. Also, if Brighton do qualify for Europe, whether that's the Europa League, Champions League, very, very unlikely, or more likely the Conference League, Mbick will have opportunities to play in Europe as well, and more opportunities to be in the starting lineup, more opportunities to come on as well. But as I said, he is raw, he is young, he won't be straight into that starting lineup, or I'd be very surprised if he was, but he's different. He provides something that Brighton just don't have, and something that they really, really need if they want to be successful under Fabian Hürzeler. That is it for this video. I really, really enjoyed making it and looking at Mbick. I think he is a huge talent with a lot of potential. One I'll be watching a few times more this season, whether Brighton sign him or not. But Brighton fans, let me know in the comments your thoughts on this potential move. Do you think it's something that we need, or can we go without? Can we get someone slightly different? Personally, I think it's a deal and a profile of player that needs to be brought in. Charlton and Colchester fans, let me know your thoughts as well. Colchester fans, how's he been getting on this season? Did I give a fair assessment? Charlton fans, do you think £5 million is enough to get the deal done? If structured correctly, I think it is a lot of money for a championship side, and one that probably can't be turned down. Or do you think you can stay strong and demand more money, or even keep him to be your future striker the next few seasons. But thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like, subscribe, do whatever you want with the video, and I'll see you very, very soon for another video. Thanks for watching. You know the outro by now. Do it with me. Adios.